camp. How do you feel your defense has done so far?
Pretty good. I mean, I think we're on schedule. I mean, the guys that I would have expected to play well have played well, and the young players who need to continue to develop are still going to need some time to develop. I mean, I think our first secondary is pretty solid. I think obviously we have really pretty good depth at linebacker, pretty good depth at D end, and Lee's really the only guy at D tackle who's played quite a bit. Some of those other guys just need to continue to get better. And they are. I mean, they are. But I mean, at some point, it's the SEC. It's not high school football. It's not Group of 5 football. This is big league football. So these guys, need to continue to work and get better.
How have you worked around the lack of depth in the interior line and scrimmage, just kind of protect guys and still get enough work done?
I mean, Coach Moorhead's done a good job with that. I mean, we haven't really talked much about it. I mean, our mindset always in our room has been next man up mentality. And, I mean, if a guy's out, that's more work for someone else. I mean, Lee's played well. I mean, Lovett's missed a couple practices. Devon Robinson's missed a couple practices. But Lee's practiced. Cam Young's practiced. Kendall obviously got hurt. But I mean, it's just another opportunity for someone else to play. And we want those guys to get rehab and get well and get back as quickly as they can. And when they do, as you know, in this league, the thing I think that made us special last year, certainly we had really, really good players, but it was the depth that we had at certain positions and specifically.
Is there a young guy or maybe somebody that you wouldn't expect this spring had a good spring and maybe worked their way up the depth chart a little bit?
A young guy. I mean, Jaden Crumedy did a good job in the scrimmage the other day at the D-line. I mean, he was in with the ones, and I thought someone said afterwards the best thing he noticed was that he wasn't in there, meaning we operated well. It wasn't like, Crumedy, he did what he was supposed to do. I think Leo and Tim Washington have taken the next step at linebacker, and that's been pretty impressive to me. In the secondary, obviously, we've moved some people around. I mean, Brian Cole coming back from injury, he's really been outstanding. Capri Landry's just been real steady. So that's been positive. Smitherman and Danzler have practiced how I would expect them to. Fred Peters, I don't know how much you guys watched today. Fred had 2 interceptions in practice today. I think he might have had an interception in practice today. Last time you guys saw me, so I mean, maybe you guys should come out more often. But he again, like anybody who's new to the program, I mean, he's going through some of those learning curves and learning how we expect things to be done. But he's done a good job.
What are you hoping to see from those guys in the spring game on Saturday?
Sorry?
What are you hoping to see from the defense in the spring game?
Well, it's hard to say. I'm not 100% sure. Coach, I think we're going to talk tomorrow about the spring game specific, the game, not the game plan, but the rules and the ground rules. That's what I mean. So, I mean, it all sort of depend on that. I mean, with the ones and the guys who played, it'll be stay sharp and be dominant. With the young players, I just want to see them play football and continue to take the next step. That's what we did last week. I mean, the ones versus ones scrimmage was pretty, that was rocking and rolling, and our ones played pretty good on defense. Our 2s and 3s showed that they have a long way to go. So, I mean, always spring games are a little different. It's in Davis Wade. There'll be however many people there. So when the lights go on, you want to see how guys respond to that as well.
You ran some sets last year, 3rd and long, where you would bring Chauncey Rivers in and play him inside. Do you have a guy like that this year, or is it going to be Chauncey again?
Chauncey Rivers. Yeah, no. I think that's definitely part of the plan. I mean, we always say, we're a personnel-driven operation, and what I mean by that is, we place the players in position to be successful in whatever the situation calls for, and that might be, we have a 3-down package that we did a bunch last year, and we practiced some today, and then we have a 4-down package, even on 3rd down, where we put, we called it our Pumas last year, because we had fast guys in. Gary was in, and Chauncey and Tez. So we'll do something like that. We haven't really practiced that much this spring, because we want to give everybody, it'd be sort of unfair to take a tackle out in the spring when you're not really getting ready for a game or anything like that.
With Brian, obviously he made a bunch of plays in the scrimmage last week.
Yeah, he did.
How much do you see him being able to push up on the line like that?
Cole?
Yeah.
I think when people ask me about a guy who might emerge and surprise, I mean, he's got all SEC talent. I mean, he's really, and I love John Abram and Mark McLaurin, and we're going to miss them a lot. Brian Cole's every bit the athlete those guys are. And if he can stay focused and locked in, I said, with how we use the nickel, I mean, he could be a guy at the end of the day who's a 85 to 90 tackle guy, a 10 sack, 15 to 20 tackle for loss guy, have several interceptions, fumble recoveries, and things like that. My expectations for him are very, very high.
I mean, do you see him as kind of a guy that obviously is going to play in coverage and safety, but do you see him as being able to push up as a linebacker?
Well, that's what Brian does. I mean, Brian plays our star. He really doesn't play much safety for us. I mean, I think he could, but he hasn't really practiced there. But he's ideal for what the star position is. I mean, he can blitz. He's aggressive enough to blitz. He's strong enough to tackle. He's athletic enough to cover really good slot receivers.
We talked to Coach Buckley last week, and he said Cam Dantzler is the best cornerback in America. Is that an assessment you'll agree with?
Dantzler's a very good player. I mean, I haven't seen all the corners in America, and I feel the same way about Cam that I do Brian. I mean, I think we have a chance to be a really good secondary. I mean, I think we're faster than we were a year ago. I think Smitherman plays so consistently. I think Dantzler has a chance to be dominant. I think I've said this before, the injuries to Cole and the injuries to Landrews, in retrospect, might have been a blessing in disguise when it comes to this team, because it gave guys like C.J. Morgan, or when Capri stepped in, an opportunity to play. So Cole, Landrews, and Morgan out there, that's pretty legit. And then you have a guy like Fred Peters, who's a solid backup. You have a guy like Tyler Williams, who's played well, and you have a guy like Marcus Murphy. That's pretty good depth. And then you hope that one of these freshmen, running a lot of freshmen, you hope one of those guys, like Jarian Jones or someone like that, is able to emerge and provide depth.
With that said, you see